everybody, this is Geosuke. I know it has been a while since I have made a video. I've been pretty busy with real life stuff, and I actually haven't been playing too many games. I've been playing a bit of Overwatch recently, and Starcraft Remastered came out not too long ago, so I also picked that up. So I decided to immediately hop on the ladder. I am pretty new to Brood War, and just the original StarCraft series as well, but I know some very basic things like, Zerg should be expanding very early, the general composition in certain matchups, like for Protoss versus Terran, the Terran goes mech, and Terran versus Zerg, Terran goes for bio in the opening and stuff like that. This is like the normal stuff from what I've observed or what I've seen. But anyway, this is the very first game of ranked that I played. I did not actually go through the campaign, which I plan on doing shortly. But anyway, so I'm going to be spawning in the top left of Nostalgia. My opponent is going to be the yellow Zerg in the bottom left corner. And I was playing as random, so I told my opponent at the beginning of the game, if you guys didn't see. So he is just now getting his spawning pool, making a lot of drones. I believe that the optimal drone saturation / probe saturation is around 9, but I could be wrong because from my understanding, the pathing and whatnot for the probes really only allows them to collect or have one worker on a mineral patch at a time. So I'm going to be attempting what I like to call a wall-in, which you can see this huge gap here. Looks like I do want to be expanding, and I don't know where this probe is going. I still have my scouting probe open. I'm definitely not Beastly though, so I cannot just harass his drones to death. So here comes, his spawning pool is up, and he has actually not expanded yet. Looks like he was trying to build something right here, but my probe attacked him, and there it goes. He is getting a second hatchery. Looks like he doesn't have too many minerals after the second hatchery, but I'm surprised. I was really surprised that he hasn't actually expanded yet. It made me a little bit worried that I was going for a very early expansion, but I don't actually believe that he knows where I've spawned yet. Here is his scouting drone, and it looks like he is eventually going to be coming up, and there are a few Zerglings that have popped out for my opponent, getting a creep colony so he can possibly make a spine. It's not a spine crawler in this game. What is it? The pokey thing. We'll call it the pokey thing for now. But in Brood War, you don't actually have to upgrade it. Or this is the pre-building before you can make a regular tower or a anti-air tower. Again, I don't know the names because I'm a noob. And you can also see my zealots and pros fit through this little corner as well, so this wall-in is amazing. So I do put down my pylon at the entrance. There are 2 bridges on this map where the enemy can cross, and my scouting probe still sees that there is no expansion from my opponent, so I'm getting a little bit worried here. I'm going to be trying to attempt to make this wall in still. I do have my second nexus up and running. Do have a single assimilator up. I still do not have my cybernetics core. Seriously? Yeah, no cybernetics core for me, I guess. That's not important. Tech isn't important. Gateways and walling in is important, especially without a forge to defend against like anything. Oh man. But anyway, my opponent has a handful of Zerglings that are coming into my base. Zerglings in the Remastered are very strong, and they do a lot of damage. So I have a single Zealot to my name. I believe I have 2, and a third one is just about to pop, but he is doing a lot of damage to my first gateway. I'm going to have to pull probes here in order to defend. And it does look like he has some more Zerglings. I don't remember this game too well, but I do know that I have a couple of Zealots fighting. And he gets a surround on one of them, takes one of them down, but I have some reinforcing Zealots on the way, and also a couple coming out of these gateways, so I believe I'm going to be fine. Looks like he's going to be targeting down probes, so I try and bring them onto a single mineral patch, and I'm just trying to do some mineral walking, right-clicking on a mineral field in order to group up those probes. In Remastered and Brood War, there is no banelings, so I don't have to worry about that. So it looks like my opponent is just going to continue to spam some Zerlings. He still hasn't expanded, and this... Oh, it's a sunken colony. How could I forget? Anyway, my opponent going to be spamming more Zerlings, and I have now a heap ton of Zealots. And did he actually get the speed upgrade? He is just now starting his speed upgrade. So my opponent is a little bit behind, especially since he invested so much into that early Zergling pressure. So it looks like this attack can do some pretty fatal damage. And sorry I don't actually have a little bit of something for the... Whoa, that is very sensitive. For the replay progress. But I do end up canceling his expansion. I was concerned that he had like a hidden expansion somewhere as well, so I sent out a scouting probe to go to random corners of the map. In Brood War, the one thing that I have a hard time with is the fact that the entire minimap is completely blacked out at the beginning of the game, so you really have to know the map before you even play it. But I mean, that all comes with experience, and once you play and actively try and remember the maps, I'm pretty sure it's nothing really after a while. But I do now have my cybernetics core. It does look like I'm making some dragoons to progress forward. It looks like I tried to poke in, I believe, and then the sunken colonies just did fatal damage towards my poor little zealots. He does clean up the zealots at the front with a hefty number of Zerlings, which do now have speed, I believe. And he is going to be coming back to my base. And you can see he has a lot of gas. Look at all this gas that he has. I guess he just doesn't know what to spend it on, and especially on a one base economy. Anyway, it looks like he is going to be coming back to my base. Again, focusing down the probes. It's doing a good amount of damage. It looks like he killed off maybe 10 probes with this, but at the same time, he's just letting all of my Dragoons just finish off the Zerglings without any resistance. So a counterattack would be really lethal to him, especially since he doesn't really have an economy. So I think I'm just going to group up all my units. I try and put my units into hotkey groups. My Zealots all on one and my Dragoons go in two. But I don't know actually how you're supposed to bind things when you have like a very large army. But I'm going to, or it looks like I'm going to try and expand to a third base here. And do I actually have a forge up? I do have a forge in my main base. It looks like I'm researching +1 attack for my Zealots. And if the combat works the same way as in Starcraft 2, the Zealot melee attack upgrade is pretty critical in killing Zerlings, from what I remember, if I remember that correctly. So, my opponent now getting his Hydralisk done. I guess he wants to try and spend some of this gas, but it still looks like he just doesn't have an economy yet. And I don't exactly know why I'm just staying in my base. I guess I'm really scared of these creep colonies / sunken colonies, because they did do a lot of damage, and there's really no rush for me to go in. I could play a little bit more defensive. So I'm just building up more Dragoons and Zealots, and I am finally moving across the map. Look at this Dragoon. Dragoon, what are you doing? Are you... Oh, actually all of them are doing this. Is there a path actually up here? No, it completely gets blocked off. That is... And it looks like I'm not paying attention. Oh, no, wait. No, it doesn't. I'm dumb. This is amazing. Okay. Dragoons aren't that dumb. I'm dumb. Maybe we've been dumb ones all along. No, it's just me. Anyway, so my Zealots are actually going to be going into La La Land over here, while my Dragoons take up the entire cliff. So you really have to micromanage your units in this game. As you can see, my Dragoons are taking all of the damage. I realize this. Start pulling some of them back. The other Dragoons still get poked, and then I'm like, okay, Zealots, come on. You need to tank the damage. So then my Zealots go in first, then my Dragoons follow up. I believe I'm still trying to macro back at home. I don't actually have any tech that I'm investing in. I'm just very low tech right now. Do have one cannon at this expansion with an attempt of a wallet. gateways. And it looks like that's going to be I looks like I lost all my zealots, but I have a couple of dragoons in the back. Don't actually want to engage these sunken colonies. And with my dragoons in this really tight spot, even a bunch of zerglings really can't squeeze through, and my opponent taps out. So this was my very first game. It wasn't too great, my opponent wasn't too great, and I definitely made tons and tons of mistakes, but I still hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later.